Mr Nuttall, thank you for being with us. Is it fair to say that electoral desperation has forced UKIP to tack significantly to the right?
No, I don't think it has. I mean, the policy of banning the burqa has been UKIP policy since 2010. In fact, we went into the 2010 general election under Lord Pearson with this precise policy. We're not moving anywhere. Actually, it's the Conservative Party who seem to be moving. You now have Theresa May saying that she's not going to uphold her commitment to get immigration down to the tens of thousands, and indeed refusing to rule out tax rises, and indeed keeping the triple lock on pensions. And finally, I mean, amazingly actually, she's upheld the commitment to keep foreign aid spending at 0.7% of GDP, which I think is a disgrace, and I think the vast majority of British people would like that money spent here in our country on our own people.
Understandably, though, plenty of people are focusing on your plan to ban full veils adopted by those of the Islamic faith. How do you feel about taking a policy wholesale from the BNP, ban the burqa?
Well, actually, you know, you're saying it's come from the BNP. The simple fact is it's already banned in France. It's banned in Belgium.
In this country, Mr Nuttall, the only people who've been advocating it are the BNP.
Well, hang on. This is going to be widespread across Europe. Indeed, Manfred Weber, who is the leader of the biggest group in the European Parliament, who basically is Frau Merkel's man in the European Parliament, is now talking about an EU-wide ban. This is where Europe is going, and we can either be on the curve or behind the curve here. And I think 10 years from now, people will look back and say UKIP was right once again and has led the debate.
In terms of the rationale for it, in interviews this morning you appear to be suggesting that it's because people in full veils can't be picked up by CCTV cameras. So one presumes that big hats are also going to be banned by a UKIP government.
No, not big hats at all. I mean, the fact is the veil covers the full face. I can't go into a bank with a crash helmet on, for example, or a balaclava.
You can't walk around the streets with a helmet on, though.
It's not just about security. Hang on. Look, whether we like it or not, we're the most watched people in the world. There's more CCTV in this country per head than anywhere else on the globe. And the fact is, for CCTV to be effective, you have to see people's faces. But there's another element to this, an important element, and that's about integration. And as Dame Casey's report showed, we're not integrating fast enough. In fact, communities are becoming more divided. And for people to integrate fully, you need to see people's faces. It's as simple as that.
So for closer integration, you'd advocate the banning of a symbol of religious affiliation?
As a guy dressed in yellow.
Well, you know, it isn't necessarily in the Quran. I mean, the Quran talks about dressing modestly. In fact, it only rarely came to prevalence when, in 1996, the Taliban took Kabul, and one of the first things they did is to ensure that the burqa became widespread across that country. The simple fact is, it's oppressive and it has no place in a Western, civilised 21st century democracy.
There's speculation this morning that UKIP are set to announce a policy on compulsory food labelling for religiously slaughtered meat. What is UKIP's policy as regards halal labelling?
There's no immediate policy announcement on that issue. This is the first I've heard of it. UKIP's policy in the past has always been that we want clear labelling so people know the kind of meat that they're eating.
So it will not be part of the UKIP manifesto, compulsory halal labelling on meat?
Well, I'm not going to say what's going to be in our manifesto, but we've got a policy launch tomorrow and it will not be incorporated into that policy launch. What we'll be talking about tomorrow are issues like FGM. We'll be talking about the fact that there's over 80 Sharia courts in this country where the word of a woman is only half that of a man. And what we'll be talking about is widespread postal voting fraud, which we think needs to be cut out because it's an affront to our democracy.
There does seem, in the policy areas in which we've been discussing this afternoon, Mr Nuttall, an absolutely laser-like focus on issues surrounding Islam. Is it not fair, given that, to suggest that there has been a significant shift to the right from you and from UKIP under you?
But correctable, so we're going to let them play on.
No, I don't believe that there has, and the reason why we're focusing on it today is because we've got a big policy announcement which is coming up in the morning, and these are the issues that we've put out there in the newspapers. As I say, I mean, tackling FGM is a very important issue. I mean, 6,000 cases of FGM alone last year came to the forefront. It's a disgrace that there hasn't been one single prosecution in this area, considering that it's been illegal since 1985. And as I say, I mean, Sharia courts up and down Britain, where the word of a woman is only half that of a man. Again, I believe that that has no place in Western civilization. So I don't believe that it's specifically targeting one group of people. This is all about integrating people into British society and people signing up to British way of life.
Mr. Russell, I want to conclude where we began this discussion about this burqa ban, this veil ban. It's St George's Day. UKIP is not a party that known for looking around the continent for examples of legislation that they want to adopt wholesale. In this country, in the United Kingdom, the only political party that has advocated a ban on the burqa is the British National Party. Are UKIP happy to be following in those footsteps?
No, there's a fair number of Conservative MPs who also follow this lead and have advocated this policy for a number of years. Indeed, Jack Straw spoke about it when he was Home Secretary. So no, we're not leading. What Mr.
Straw was talking about was during constituency meetings when he was sitting opposite someone that he couldn't speak to directly. He was not talking about a ban on people wearing the hijab, wearing the niqab, wearing full-face veils in the street.
Look, we have a problem with integration in this country. 58% of Muslim women are economically inactive, okay? There is massive amounts of jobs which you're precluded from doing if you refuse to show your face. And I want to see those women get back into work. There's also a problem with language. 22% of Muslim women do not speak English to any great degree. Again, I want to see that sorted out. This is all about integration. This is a positive message, not a negative one.